Test 1 2 3. 1 2 3 test. Hello, sweet tea. What do we got here? Let me turn down my notifications so the guys don't blow up the text line when I'm live. Who do we have? Bambi. What's going down? Bambi Palermo Pizzaverse. I like that name. Good to see you. We're doing an emergency broadcast for Candace Owens. Mustang Mike. Hello, hello. We'll play the main event video after we get all the Mossad agents a chance to get into the room. That's your guys' we're going to be the Mossad crew. The Mossad crew, and you guys are the Mossad agents. So we got shootings in, I think, South Carolina or North Carolina at a Christmas tree festival. Then in Chicago, same thing, like 2 separate shootings in Chicago. People died, people shot. Why do these things happen in groups? Separate parts of the country, it always happens like this. You know, one day it'll be ATMs are being robbed from every store around town. And then one day it'll be people get shot at different Christmas tree festivals. You know what I mean? It's the same fucking thing. Kabuki theater. I'm not saying they didn't get shot. We are live. Tommy, hello, hello. Good to see you. Got to do an emergency broadcast for Candace. Let me share the screen. I got other videos too.
Like, how long do the French get to fucking live off Haiti, Libya, West Africa? How long before you got to ante up what's in the Louvre?
The French are still living off Haiti?
Oh, yeah. Haiti
Well,
still has
why
to pay
can't they
reparations.
fix it then?
Why can't Haitians fix it?
No, the French. If the French are still involved.
There's no interest in how
Bill Maher. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of relevant.
Like, how long do the French get to fucking live off Haiti, Libya, West Africa? How long before you got to ante up what's in the Louvre?
The French are still living off Haiti?
Oh, yeah. Haiti
Well,
still has
why
to pay
can't they
reparations.
fix it then?
Why can't Haitians fix it?
No, the French. If the French are still involved.
There's no interest in how don't you read
right
France Fanon? Did you read Rich of the Earth? You know, you dated enough black women to know this shit. You know that.
Yeah, I mean.
The French. The French. They are all up in the news today. Why did the French elect a president who has a pedophile wife who could be a man as their leaders? Is it because elections are rigged, or I don't get it? But this video is neither here nor there. Just keep France in your mind. A 19-year-old was accused of causing a 12-car collision in Las Vegas on Tuesday. He accelerated to 71 miles an hour and intentionally caused a crash that killed his pregnant girlfriend and another driver. I just don't get what the fuck is wrong with people. I mean, that is just total. I don't even know, man. What do you call that when somebody does that? I can't process that. Joe Della, Suzanne, good to see you guys. We're doing an emergency broadcast for Candace. So as soon as we get everybody in here, I'll read the tweet she put out. I just finished work. I only worked a morning shift today, listening at nights. Thank you for coming in. All right. President Trump, he announces, this was last night, a determination of all temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. His tweet read, Minnesota under Governor Walz, he ran for president, vice president, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating, effective immediately, the temporary protected status program for Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of the great state and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over. President Donald Trump. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have to go in there and get those people out. So we'll see how that plays out. But sounds good to me as far as that goes. And not really into politics. Nothing I can do about the jerks in Congress but vote. Yeah, it's no point in crying and complaining about them is how I view it. Well, you could always run for Congress, Bambi. I mean, some people don't care about politics, and I get it, And I'm not a political guy myself, but this is more about Candace Owens right now and the fact that they blew Charlie Kirk's neck apart in front of the whole world to see. It's not about you're never going to hear me talk about Democrats and Republican and the left and the right. I could care less about that shit. That's not my view is that the presidents are not elected. They're selected. It's an auction and it goes to the highest bidder. And the highest bidders always come from Israel. So that's just what it is. I mean, everybody has their own beliefs and their own things they want to pay attention to each their own. That's what this channel is about. So let's move on. Let's see here. Trump is still attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene on her way out the door. Still calling her a traitor. He puts out another tweet. Marjorie Traitor Brown. He calls her brown and not green because he says that grass turns brown when it rots. This is the pathetic bullshit rhetoric that Trump is engaging in. He's such a piece of shit sometimes, and most of the time. Marjorie Traitor Brown, because plummeting poll numbers are not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement, where she would have no chance of winning. She has decided to call it quits. Her relationship with the worst Republican congressman in decades, Tom Massey of Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr., because he votes against the Republican Party and really good legislation, did not help her. For some reason, primary that I refuse to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls. Marjorie went bad. Nevertheless, I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country. He calls her a traitor, changes her last name, just gets her bomb threats, attacks left and right. I mean, it puts her whole family in danger by this shit. But I will thank her for her service. She spent millions of dollars of her own money campaigning for him. Took time away from her construction company, business. So I hope Marjorie can somehow screw the whole Republican Party in the next coming election. They deserve it. And I hope that she runs for president in 2028. That's what I want. Because I'm not voting for J.D. Vance. I don't give a fuck. Who else? I'll pick somebody else. I'll write my own name. I'll write in my own name if I have to. I'm not voting for that motherfucker. There's no way in hell. He don't have enough time on this planet to fucking change my mind. He's a body snatcher. It was winning House 12-8, called Cheyenne's Law. They're bill trying to get it passed. I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, I heard a story. You want to hear a crazy story? Write my own name. I think I've done it before, Suzanne. I think I've done it before. So I heard a story. yesterday that, you know, the place that I set up at for the Puyallup tribe, one of the members of the council, one of the like leaders of the tribe, I don't know if it was his daughter or his sister, one of them was killed by the Tacoma police. She was shot accidentally, and then they buried her baby alive, is what this lady told me. And now he goes to Washington, D.C. There's like a whole thing about it. You can Google it, but I don't even know. I can't remember the name. So I'll have to get back to you on the name. It's like, it's definitely a tribal name, the last name. But when I heard that, it's hard to believe when you hear something like that. Like, what? What do you mean buried the baby alive? That makes no sense to me. And I don't even know what the context is behind the police accidentally shooting her. So, but he goes to Washington, D.C. He just got back. He lobbies for this law. It's called some type of law. You just never know what happens in life sometimes. You know, it's crazy. But that's why you don't need somebody like Trump calling you a traitor, you know, when all you did was help him get elected. So something bad could happen to her. What a fucking asshole. North Carolina, Christmas tree parade, tree lighting ceremony. There was a shooting. I don't know if anybody was hurt or not. I know Sweet Tea would know more information on that. Definitely there was somebody killed in Chicago, and I have video of that. Here, this is here is the moment gunfire rang out as 300 juveniles were reportedly rioting in the Loop of Chicago on Friday night. Alderman Hopkins says at least 5 victims were hit and 1 critically to the torso. Hopkins added that multiple police officers attacked and injured with mace and stun guns. At least 1 police officer hospitalized. So this is one of the 2 shootings in Chicago last night.
News coverage, but I'm told this is the moment the gunshots rang out. Let's watch and listen. Yeah, there it was. So we were talking about this 4 to 5. There it is again.
You know, Ryan is all the way at the north end of the building in the sports department on the 3rd floor. And his office and the sports department is right next to the L tracks. He said he turned at about 9:52. He looked at his producer, Mike Johnson, and said, those, I think, were gunshots.
So it sounded like 4 there, 3 in a row, and then 1 more. And that distinctive sound. I mean,
oh, that distinctive sound. Okay, motherfucker, we get it. It's fucking gunshots. What are you trying to tell us here?
We have cars come down here spinning.
So that was one shooting. Why there's 300 of those fucking animals out on the street at that time, I have no clue. But there was also another shooting. CG2, hello. On my phone. What's up? Cinnamon Girl also. That's what it says. That's awesome. Thank you for stopping by. All right. So we'll move on to the next one. A black New Jersey firefighter files a $25 million lawsuit against his township, alleging a white colleague tied a rope into a noose and taunted him. And then he threw it at him. So why a guy would do that?
In disbelief. I asked him, I was like, yo, what's this? And he said, I want you to figure out what kind of knot this is. And I told him, I said, I know exactly what kind of knot it is. This is what people used to hang my ancestor from trees. I said, do you think this is funny?
In an exclusive iTeam interview after the incident, Thomas revealed that Coffey had actually made other noose comments the week before.
The same guy came up to me while I was standing outside and said, hey, Thomas, there's a noose upstairs on the table. And I asked him, I said, Why would I want to see a noose?
Thomas went on medical leave for PTSD related to the incident. In December of 2023, the Essex County Prosecutor's Office charged Coffey with bias intimidation. He then entered a diversion program, which could eventually lead to the dismissal of the criminal charges. Bloomfield said it was continuing its investigation.
I think there should have been some jail time or a little bit more than 2 years probation. And if he does everything right in 2 years, he has no criminal record. It's like it never even happened.
So take that for what you will. Kind of seems like a crybaby to me, an adult man crying about that. I don't know how it got taken that far. It sounds like he's just causing problems. Sorry, I was putting a piece of candy in my mouth. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on that one. That's a lot of desserts, Joe. All right, let's see here.
We've been following this all night. 2 shootings, just hours after the Christmas tree lighting, steps away as well from the Christkindl Market right here downtown. One of those mass shootings, leaving 7 teenagers in the hospital. Just blocks away from that, a man died. Let's get right to our Saul Rezai at State and Randolph for the very latest on the investigations.
Yeah, Suzanne, one of those shootings happened just steps away from the Chicago theater here. The scene has been cleared here this morning, but we know new details from Chicago police this morning tell us 7 people were shot here near the Chicago theater. A separate scene near Adams and Dearborn had 2 other people that were shot. The person at that scene, we learned, has died. Witnesses tell us the victims seemed all to be very young, in their teenage years. Police confirming this morning the youngest victim is only 13 years old. Suzanne, you mentioned these shootings happened just steps away from multiple big holiday attractions happening here in the Loop. We'll get to that video. Chicago police saying they saw a large group of people on the sidewalk. You'll see this scene video as aftermath. Dozens of Chicago police officers and first responders on the scene.
You know, it's so hard to listen to those news reporters, some of them, because, you know, some of them are just straight CIA. I'm not saying she is, but she is one of the most hardest to listen to news reporters I've ever heard. You know, it's just a whole bunch of nothing. They seem to all have been so young in their teens. I mean, it's just, that's why I can't watch the news. I just absolutely can't watch it. You know, they could, you know, if they really wanted to solve the violence that goes on in Chicago for decades now, they would address the problems, you know. It's just, it's obviously meant to be the way that it is. It's not by accident that there's all that violence in Chicago. They want it that way. And so when you hear those news reporters talk like that, I can't even tune into it. See No Evil, good to see you. How's everyone doing this afternoon? I hope you're having a nice weekend. Yes. We are. We're doing a emergency broadcast for Candace Owens. You got that right, Joe. In a lot of places. Here either. Someone is the mystery man that's 69 years old every year, and now I know who it was. Oh, maybe you're having a side conversation. I'm not sure what that is. Yes, hope everybody's doing good. This is Jelly Roll, man. I'm not a fan of Jelly Roll. It's not that I don't like him. I just don't follow music or musicians like that. But I did know he was a big fat guy. And no offense to him, and then he lost a lot of weight and shaved his beard. I mean, you guys, I got to go grab some water. Look at this.
What's up, y'all? By now, you have probably figured out that I look like a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, this was crazy. One of the reasons I'd even started growing a beard was because I was so obese. It was just easier to cover up what was happening here, you know? Anyways, but I told y'all by the end of this vlog that I would talk to y'all about what I think is probably the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life. When I was in Australia, I woke up and we were nominated for three Grammy nominations, y'all. Dude, when I made it to my first Grammy of the year, I had the new artist. I thought to myself, it's the only time I'll ever be at the Grammys. And to be coming back 3 years later with more nominations than I've ever had is just, first of all, the gratitude, man. And I don't care what artists say. I don't care what artists act like. I'm going to tell you the real truth. There's not an artist in the world that didn't grow up watching the Grammys when they were a kid and walk in their bedrooms afterwards and rehearse their speech. God will take something that's either abnormal and make it extremely abnormal, or he will take something that's already incredible and make it absolutely mesmerizing. And that's a case here. Not only did God bring me back here in the best headspace, I'm thinking right about it, but he brought me here with the right kind of message. When I look at these nominations, all I see is God. If it couldn't get any more, I don't even know how to say it, just like I want to cry almost, like, wow. Country Album of the Year. And it's not even about the album or the nom. It's about the name. It's like I look at all my friends, Snipe Hunt, I'm a huge Tyler Childers fan, obviously. Kelsey with Patterns. I see all my friends in this category, but then I just see standing there is this album called Beautifully Broken. And man, if that doesn't represent what's happening in the world right now, I think more than ever, is that I think we can find beauty in what's happening. Win, lose, or draw, holy we won. Everybody's always like, how do you really feel about the Grammys? Because I know a lot of artists give the Grammys a lot of shit. The truth is, I feel honored. I feel extremely grateful that the Recording Academy even considered us. And I think this has nothing to do with me or the Recording Academy, frankly. I think this year is all Jesus, baby. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning into the vlog. Y'all make fun of me now and leave comments below about my double chin and how I thought my chin went at least a half inch further than it actually went. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it. You know, like I said, I'm not a fan. I don't follow, musicians like that. But I think that if I was going to pick somebody to be a role model who was a musician for the people that listen to music, this is the guy. I think we found him. Slim's going down. Hope everybody's doing good. So yeah, shout out to Jelly Roll. Here's Trump, a tweet from Trump. I've just got my highest poll numbers of my political career, but my great work on the economy has not yet been fully appreciated. It will be. Things are really rocking. Stopping wars and foreign relations seems to be a strong suit. The border, stopping crime. I predict the economy with the already highest stock market ever, and the price is coming sharply down from the Biden disaster. Will soon be at the top of the list. Make America great again. Go fuck yourself, Trump. How about that? How about you can just go fuck right off, okay? Nobody cares about your poll numbers. You can't run for president again. So why don't you just concentrate on fucking actually doing a good job instead of looking at numbers? Who gives a fuck about your numbers? Anyway. Hold on, guys. Donna's doing it. Podcast. Very good. Host. Appreciate it. There's her link. Donna's doing it right there. Hello. All right. Yeah, I did see that you were on there. I haven't had time to watch it. I've been so busy, guys. I mean, you can't. It's game time for me. I spent last week making hot cocoa bombs and pretzel rods and this, that, and the other. Go out yesterday, and I put a post on Facebook that I'm going to go out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, I sold everything I had yesterday. And then I promised people that I'll come back on Monday with more hot cocoa bombs, which take time to make. So, and the weather's shitty today and tomorrow. So I'm not going out to sell today and tomorrow. I'm working all day today and tomorrow, making more stuff. And I've already been working since, what is it? It's 10 now. I've been working since 4 a.m. I stopped working about 10 o'clock. It's 10:43 now. So I already put in a solid 6 hours. I got 2 full trays of hot cocoa bomb shells. I have to put the hot cocoa and marshmallows in still. I'll put all those together. I got all kinds of stuff I got to make. So that's what I'm doing. But Candace's life's in danger. So that's why I'm doing this broadcast. So hope everybody's doing good. And yeah, not going to be on too long, but yeah, they are. You got that right, CG2. You guys know I got to save my voice. It's already going bad. Okay, let's get on to the next one. Oh, yeah, again, let me just say this one more time. Trump, go fuck yourself. So we're just crystal clear. Make no mistake. Make America go fuck yourself, Trump. How about that? Okay, let's move on. I would vote for her. Man, I would love to see this. I would also vote, though, for Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. I think they realistically have a better shot of winning. But I'd like to see MTG in their cabinet, or I don't know. Should get my vote. And here's a tweet from her. She goes, this is from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She goes, I believe in the American people. You are stronger and more resilient than you know. There are no leaders that will save this country, but you, the American people, can. If we all switch our torn and tattered, beautiful star-spangled banner back together, we can do anything. And I'm glad she put that out because, it's not her responsibility. She tried. She doesn't need to steal our tax money. She's got her own company. She makes her own money. She doesn't need to do inside trading or steal our tax money, grift, any of that bullshit. She's not trying to advance her political career. She was literally trying to help us normal Americans out. That's what her goal was. And she realized that it's impossible because it's her and maybe one other person, a couple other people that feel that way. Everybody else literally there is working for the same machine. And we all know that. So don't blame her. It ain't her fault. She tried. Now people are calling her a quitter and a loser and all this, and she's not. And if they don't like it, then they can run for office and see what type of changes they could do. She didn't go against Trump. She went against some of the things he was saying. It's not just against Trump. It's just against, what it was. And it's the same thing that I'm against him for. Joe, it's a complete 180. When he ran, I watched a video of him when he was running for president. He said that the HB1 visa bill, and I've known about this bill for a long time, for like 20 years. Because I used to hear Michio Kaku talk about this bill a long time. It's the first time I ever heard about it. He's a professor in New York City and an author and physicist, and got into it with the government. And, he's on video saying that our science and technical infrastructure in the United States would completely collapse if it wasn't for the HB1 visa bill. And they dubbed it the Genius Bill, And that's what I knew it was called, the Genius Bill, like 20 years ago. They've had this forever. It's nothing new, But Trump said that it was a bad thing and that it should be abolished. And now he's saying that we have no talent and that they have to bring in 600,000 Chinese and then 1.7 trillion Indians. Nobody wants that in this country. We don't want it. We don't need it. There's so many people in this country that can't find a job. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I make okay money doing what I do, but am I ever going to get, you know, I mean, I was a real estate agent for a little while, just very short amount of time in 2008. Like, that's literally the worst year to become a real estate agent, other than maybe now because of AI. But it was when the market tanked, when Obama first became president. I sold one house, and I didn't even know what I was doing. It was to my cousin. It took us a few months to find it, you know, and I think it was a $400,000 sale or 360. I can't remember exactly. And I had to give up 50% of my commission, 20% to the broker, which was a normal 80-20 split. But then I had to give up an additional 30% to what was called a productivity coach for my first 3 sales. So long story short, it was a $10,000 commission, and I ended up getting $4,700, something like that. Not a bad check. And then that's when I realized, you know, that, you know, they tell you in real estate that the work you put in now pays off in 6 months. So once you get the ball rolling and the checks start coming in, you can really make good money. As my point is that, you know, it's a lot easier to make money in real estate probably if you're good at it. You know what I mean? But it's just not what I want to do. I did open houses and sit in all these fucking meetings, and I just, not my thing. Now my daughter wants to do it. She just failed the Washington State real estate exam a couple times. She'll pass it eventually. Her mother's a real estate agent. And that's how I got into it. So she's been a real estate agent for like 20 years. You have the talent, surely they must identify it and train people. Yes. 69 is year I was born, so it would make sense to me. He said that, and he's deporting Mexicans and Latinos. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So he's deporting the talent. You know, we can't find anybody to work construction. So he got rid of them. So we have nobody working construction right now. And the jobs are just sitting vacant. And then, you know, the thing that gets me, and I heard this from somebody, is that they came out, Kash Patel, who, you know, is just a piece of shit. He's just a liar, fucking piece of shit liar. The director of the FBI. Oh, yeah, we struck it in. I don't know if it's him and Trump. You know, they said that they struck a deal with China, that China's going to quit either making or allowing the 13 precursors that are used to make fentanyl to come into the United States. However that's possible, whatever that means, that's what they said. At the same time that Trump goes on Laura Ingraham and tells her that we have no talent and that the 600,000 Chinese communist workers are necessary for our missile factories. It's just, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. So he's the one that turned on us. Nobody turned on Trump. And the only people that are still Trump supporters are just deep staters and Israeli, you know, people from Israel. If Thindu was here, I'd play some of these big engineer machinery videos. They were for him. All right, Candace Owens. This is why I went live, guys. This is it right here. So I don't know. For those of you that don't follow Candace Owens, I apologize. I do. You know, I don't have a lot of time in the day to watch shows. I can listen to shows and work, you know, for the most part sometimes. But this is the one that I've been making sure I pay attention to, man, is Charlie Kirk. It is, in my opinion, if we allow them to lie to us about how and why and who killed Charlie Kirk, we're screwed. So, and they're going to try to distract us from that. But do not forget that 31-year-old man was just free speeching it away at a speech event. That's all it was. It wasn't a protest or anything like that. It was just a speech event. They did like debates. That was the thing. Come up and ask Charlie Kirk a question and debate him, you know? You can almost have that at like a booth at the fair. Let me guess your weight. Let me debate you on your belief system. You know, just whatever. And they blew his neck apart right in front of all of us. Allegedly, unless it was a hologram and AI. which is a possibility. But so I've been following it very closely. You know, we know about the Egyptian planes and stuff like that, and the French government leased a hangar in 2021 in Wilmington, something, Delaware. I think that's how you say it, Wilmington, Delaware, and it stayed vacant until 2024, and then they started using it. And the French are connected in a few things, and don't forget that Candace was, right when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, she was going in hard on Brigitte Macron, the first lady, about being a man, the first lady of France. And, you know, I was all invested in that story too. And because they were suing Candace, and President Trump actually called Candace and said, can you please stop talking about that? Because the Macrons called Trump and said, can you call Candace and ask her? And then they filed lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And Candace and her lawyers basically just said, prove you're not a man and we'll stop. You know, show some pictures of you being pregnant. Show us, show us anything. And then they would drop the lawsuits. And I think now she's being sued for $50 million. Well, my theory has always been that Tyler Robinson didn't have nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. I never believed that story one bit. I mean, I would rather go with it was anything other than that. You could fucking tell me anything. There was theories about it being a palm gun. The lapel microphone exploded. It came from behind him. Low caliber gun from the side. It could have been a micro drone. I mean, I'll believe any of that shit. I'll believe it was a hologram before I believe that it was that guy, Tyler Robinson, who also wrote on the other bullets, if you're reading this, you're gay. And Bella Ciao, whatever he wrote. It was fucking bullshit. Trock, what's going down, my friend? Hello. How are you? So here we go with the tweet. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, meaning the Macrons, I have deemed the information that they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, the person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multiple state involvement. Journalist Xavier Pissard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head, excuse me, hold on, time out. Let me take a drink here. Okay, here we go. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information which is definitely verifiable should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. And so there you have it. And she wants everybody to retweet it. It's already gone viral. I'm just going to, I've been studying conspiracy theories my whole adult life. I could break down, and I'm not saying that my opinion or what my knowledge is any better than anybody else. I don't have any inside information. I just have my own gut instinct. And I just feel like I have high level common sense. And I just have studied a lot of things. Like when they talk about certain things, like I can draw back on a little bit of knowledge of like, I kind of know what they're talking about certain things. That's all I'm saying. Just based on all that, what I believe, I know exactly what she's talking about. And I truly believe what she's saying is accurate. I do believe that. I believe that Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron orchestrated the hit of Charlie Kirk along with some other players involved, because there was more than one reason to take him out. You know, don't let any, you know, when a perfect storm arises, you know, then something great happens. And that's what that was. It was a perfect storm of him backing out on Israel. And at the same time, they wanted Candace Owens to shut the fuck up about Brigitte having a dick. So much so that they called Trump and said, can you please get her to stop? They sued her time and time again, $50 million pending lawsuit. Nothing works. She will not stop. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's got the best lawyer around, and she can't be touched because she does her research and she knows what she's talking about. She wouldn't even be bringing this up if it wasn't true. And everybody knows it. So why wouldn't they just kill Candace? Well, because all of us that have been following that story about the cock of Brigitte Macron, we would already know they were the ones that killed Candace. 100%. There'd be no question. Of course they did. So instead, they kill her best friend in public so she can see what it looks like to be executed. Now maybe you'll shut the fuck up. Okay? You want to have your neck blown apart, lady? Because you're next. And then they had somebody inside the Turning Point organization reach out to her like the day after he was shot and killed, Charlie Kirk, and told her that it was supposed to be her, and that she was on a short list with Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. So this is, you know, does it sound like crazy talk? Yes, it does. But isn't it crazy that Charlie Kirk's neck was blown apart in front of all of us, even though they don't show the video anymore? Pretty sure if anybody has any access to the internet, you watched blood squirt out of his neck like I did and were traumatized by it. I still am, because I don't believe any of the story. So anyway, that's where we're at. So if she ends up dead, we all know who did it. So something's definitely going on, and people know about it in the government. So sorry. I think I have a couple more videos here. So in California, they passed a law, and I'm surprised they did this in California. I'm all for it, but I didn't know that, you know, you think that California is like one of those states that has horrible laws. New work and age requirements for SNAP recipients in California starting in December.
Of some new rules expected to start next month. Now, these changes come after payments were delayed because of the government shutdown.
Colleen and Michael, these changes are coming after President Trump signed a new tax and spending bill into law back in July, known as the One Big Beautiful Bill. And two of those
Sorry, guys.
changes coming to SNAP or CalFresh, known here in California, include new work and age requirements in order to be eligible for the program. Eligibility for non-U.S. citizens will also be impacted. The CalFresh program spokesperson tells me that right now they're still waiting for guidance from the state and a timeline. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, people that will not be eligible for SNAP benefits include refugees and people that were granted asylum. SNAP participants will also be required to work, volunteer, or participate in job training for at least 80 hours a month. And the new restrictions will also increase the age limit for people who meet work requirements from 18 to 64 before that age cap was at 54. The USDA also says that temporary exceptions will also end for people experiencing homelessness, veterans, and young adults 24 and younger and aging out of the foster care system.
One of those changes already took effect on November the 1st, and this changes how we count the.
Yeah, so and I think that I think that especially like my daughter is a single mom. She works full time. She's like what do you call, like a leasing agent at the apartment that her and my granddaughter live at. And she tried to get some EBT benefits because she can barely pay her bills, and they offered her like 50 cents or $5 or 60 cents or $17 a month. Literally that's what it was. And it's like, I'll always help out, my kids and stuff like that. All of us will, if we have the ability to. But it's they have all that money for the illegals, but and I agree that there should be no like ice cream and candy and pop and none of that shit. What it should be is that because like when I worked the farmers market, they the farmers could take these EBT coupons that were handed out to certain people. And I think that's perfectly fine. Like the government could supplement the income of, the chicken farmers and the beef farmers and, the ones that do the milk and all that kind of stuff. And give benefits, so like every month you give, isn't that how they used to do it? Milk and egg and cheese and bread and, that kind of stuff to people. Because that shit adds up too. Just give the basics but only to the people that fucking need it. You know what I mean? Like if you're just sitting at home doing nothing, like, sorry, you can say you need it, but you're not doing nothing to contribute to society. We're not just going to fucking feed you for nothing. Get your ass up and fucking work. You know what I mean? So, and time limits on shit like that. I don't know. So anyway, I'm just kind of glad to see that they're at least taking, because my mom worked for DSHS for 33 years here in Tacoma, Washington. So heard a lot of stories. I've had friends that have been on, and my mom tell me about people that I went to high school with, and there's all kinds of stories from DSHS. What else we got? This is what MAGA looks like now. Jews and their shills. You got Laura Loomer, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Ted Cruz, don't know, Officer Brandon Tatum. What the fuck's that guy's name? Can't remember. That's Adeline, whatever. She was the biggest donor to Trump's campaign, Jewish Zionist. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and I think that's Nancy Mace, maybe. I don't know who that is on the bottom. Nancy Mace. Yep, that's about it, guys. I got to get back into the kitchen and get to work. I just wanted to put that tweet out there for Candace. For oh yeah, super difficult. Joe, she's got me though, and her mom, so she's got plenty of help. I watch my granddaughter 3 days a week after school, so I'm not qualified to be a daycare teacher. If I had her, because I got to work too. I mean, it eats up my day to even babysit 3 days a week, but I'll do what I got to do, but whatever time I, don't have to be obligated to babysitting or whatever, I'm working. That's why I'm so busy as it is right now, but yeah, no, it's difficult. She gets child support from the dad. He's in Florida. I don't know how much she gets. I don't ask, but it's just because everything's expensive. She does, however, have her, she was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, because she wanted my daughter to have her own room, which is cool. But they're going to save a little bit of money, and she's got her younger brother who is I think 22, 23. He works full time. He's moving in. So their mom's not happy about it. My ex, because she doesn't want her baby to leave the house apparently, but he's responsible, and he's a hell of a cook. He's a chef, so I'm gonna pick his brain. But yeah, it's what family's all about, you know. Dave Rubin, yep, thank you. The Rubin Report. That's who that guy was. I knew I'd seen him somewhere. I don't know if Theme Dude's going on today or not. I'm sure he is. But I appreciate all you guys coming through. I got about, how many do I got? 60 hot cocoa bombs to put together. And then I don't know what's next after that. I have so much shit to do. I can't even think straight right now. Have a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.